Well, a lot of exciting things happened this weekend. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish that game with Henry Davis signing the 71 team, and we had the lead. We could not finish that game today, which was unfortunate.
Shelton, I guess the best way to summarize this series would be, a series win, but what's the best way to describe it when you have, a walk-off grand slam, a fracas, a crazy play like what happened in the first inning? What was it like to not only witness that, but manage through it?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things that, you don't see very often happen. And we played good baseball. I mean, we had opportunities today to win the game and sweep the series, and we did not take advantage of those opportunities.
So was there any sense of, I don't know, taking the foot off the gas pedal? They were getting 6 runs in the early going, or no? Do you just think it was a sort of execution thing?
No, I think it was more execution. I mean, I would say that if we would have gone the rest of the game and not had runners on base or runners in scoring position or had good at bats, we had those opportunities and we did not capitalize to extend the lead. And because of that, we ended up losing the game.
There were a lot of takes in that one inning. Anything that you heard from your hitters as far as deception, not seeing the ball?
Yeah, I mean, that's severe crossfire with Loop. And he executed too. I mean, obviously I didn't think the pitch to Frazier or the pitch to Defoe were a strike. Going back and look at them, it looks like they got a fraction of the zone. So with severe crossfire like that, it's very challenging. And, but we have got to do a better job of at least moving the ball at some point and making them catch it. And we didn't do that.
Shelton, is it frustrating whenever you guys can't complete the sweep? You've had a couple opportunities this year and a couple close games, but just not being able to finish one out.
Yeah, I mean, it is frustrating. I'm happy that we put ourselves in a position to do that by as well as we played against the team that's leading the National League East. And but to not finish it, especially after being up, yeah, it's frustrating.
Derek, following up on Mike's question a little bit, the inability to add on once you got up 6-0, was it a more true statement that you guys just didn't execute in the batter's box, or is it more about what they did in the bullpen and effective bullpen relief pitching?
I think a combination of both. I mean, they had to execute pitches. We saw we saw 2 pretty good guys. Loop's been one of the better left-handers in the National League this year to run through 2 innings. So I think, I'm not going to take it away from the Mets. They executed. They made pitches. They did a good job. They did a good job at the top of our order. But on the flip side of that, we've got to at least move the ball and put the ball in play and make them catch the ball, for those opportunities.
So have you talked about the eventful stuff that was going on? You had a series where you had a benches clear. You had a coming back from a 6-run deficit with a grand slam walk-off. And now you have a game where you had scored 3 runs on 1 error and then blew a 6-run. What was it just like to have a weekend like that?
Yeah, it was kind of all over the place. It's one of those weekends you'll probably not see very often with some of the things that happened. But, our guys continue to play hard throughout. We did not capitalize on the opportunity to get this game.
So speaking of that, have you ever really seen a play like that, like Newman's play?
I've seen a play where it's been a fair ball and the pitcher's made that move. I have never seen it with the bases loaded. And I mean, there were a lot of freaky things that happened in that play. The ball started foul, came back fair. He flipped it. It stayed in play, which normally doesn't happen. And then, heads up awareness on both Joey and Mikey Perez. I mean, for Mikey to score from first and Joey to continue to bring him, there was a lot of strange things that happened in that play.
I know that it's not the result you want, but big weekend for Joey Cora between his antics on the Stallings Grand Slam and then that there. He had an active weekend. Yeah,
he did have an active weekend. He had a good weekend. He was animated.
What did you think of JT Brubaker's outing? It looked like he was pitching with some emotion and got out of a couple jams, but he got beat on a fastball. It looked like it was well elevated for that 3-run homer.
Yeah, I mean, just, tried to go up, missed up in the wrong spot, and, because of it, we paid for it with Blankenhorn. What I saw with him is just really inconsistency in terms of the stuff. I mean, to get out of that jam in the first, bases loaded jam, but just throughout the outing, he did not consistently have his stuff.
Anything specifically with Rich Rod there?
No, I mean, he left a fastball up to Conforto and it got hit. I mean, he missed high 3 or 4 times to Dom Smith and he left the ball over the plate and then just missed to Conforto and he hit it out.
Oh, good.
Thanks, guys.
All right, JT Brubaker here. So questions for JT?
JT, you were in the on deck circle for that Kevin Newman bases clearing swinging bunt. I saw you, given the go ahead, helping out Joey Cora, basically saying, come home, come home. But what was it like? Like, what was your reaction in the moment just seeing that play unfold?
Really, once I saw the umpire point fair, I guess ever since I guess college, I was always told don't flip the ball, don't flip it, just pick it up and then see what the umpire's choice is. As soon as he flipped it and I saw it, I just pointed that it stayed in play and saw that they were arguing, so just watched them run around the bases. Just trying to let them know that it stayed in play and just keep running.
Is it kind of surreal, JT, to see the Mets standing there while your teammates were running around?
Really, I they were all just kind of, I guess, congregating around the umpire, and I was just glad that the umpire was able to stay locked in, that he called it fair, and was able to move kind of back towards the plate while people were scoring, and make sure that everybody touched the plate, and that if there was a play when Mikey came around third, he was in position to be able to make a call.
GT, in terms of your stuff, it seemed like sort of a battle through the, those 3 1/3 innings or 3 2/3, whatever it was. Did you kind of feel like, trying to fight it, I guess, throughout most of the start?
Yeah, I was struggling to find the zone. I walked Nemo 3 times. That's not me. And then just pitches in general, it felt like one pitch I had my stuff and then the next one I didn't. So it was a battle of trying to find the consistency of my good stuff and trying to keep the okay and poor pitches out of there. And walks are going to come back and kill you. And then eventually there in the fourth, it nipped me. So that's how baseball works. Executed a pitch up to Blackenhorn, and he took me deep. So when you're trying to find your stuff and then all of a sudden you execute a pitch, it's something that it's just the way baseball works. It's going to come back and bite you.
Anything else for JT? All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, JT.
All right, fellas, we have Kevin Newman here. Questions for Kevin?
Kevin, was it kind of tough to comprehend that play in the first? Or did you even have time to comprehend it when it was happening? I guess, what was your read on that play?
Yeah, my read was I hit it and it definitely started in foul territory. And then I saw it kind of creeping its way back and I just took off running, thinking, what could happen? Maybe this thing comes back. So I just started running. And then as I'm running to first, I kind of turn my head and see him just like swat the ball, in foul territory, and everybody's kind of going crazy. And then I just turn and run to second base. And I was kind of just like, I really didn't know what was going to be the outcome. I didn't know if that was like a play that they could review and overturn. I didn't know if they got it right or wrong because I had a terrible view, going down the line. So I was kind of just standing there like, what's going to happen? I had no idea.
Is this, when you retell this story, is this one where you're going to kind of ignore the stat, cast 1 foot, and tell it as a 3-run single that you got where you end up on second base?
Yeah, this is a base hit up the middle of my book.
Kevin, how would you describe this series as a whole where, there's a fracas, there's a walk-off grand slam, there's 2 comebacks, 1 for each side. Just what has this weekend kind of been like?
A series win is what I look at it as, and it's something that we can build on. 2 out of 3 winning a series against a big league team is what you show up to do. So we did that. Being able to build on that, grow on that, and take it with us into Arizona. And kind of keep this momentum going.
Kevin, what do you attribute the inability to add on after the 6-run first inning? Was it just more about their good relief pitching, or did you guys go awry a little bit in the batter's box?
Yeah, obviously we'd like to add on more runs. Unfortunately, we weren't able to. It's, there's no real reason why. Just kind of one of those things where, unfortunately we didn't add on any more runs.
Kevin, it is a series win, but is there a level of frustration knowing that you guys aren't getting the sweep again out of this?
Like I said, it's a series win, and that's how I look at it. And it's what we take into the next series and how we build on it that really matters.
Kevin, now that it's over, can you talk about what it was like to go 76 games without an error, and how much the way you responded to that error by making some really good plays defensively kind of maybe shows what you're all about?
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool run. Just really just worked as hard as I could to try to make as many plays for our pitchers as possible. And that, it kind of just happened. But it was a cool little run for sure.
But did it kind of make up for it all with the barehander that you had with Frazier, barehand to barehand? I mean, was that one of those plays where you guys turned a bunch of double plays this weekend? Was that one that made you kind of forget all about the error?
To be honest, I forgot about the error right after it happened. I really didn't dwell on it. Like it was shown, there's a next play to be made. I think that inning I got 2 more plays, to close out the inning. So it's, that's part of the game, is you got to flush that stuff really quickly, because the ball's going to find you. And after it happened, it was on to the next play for me mentally.
Kevin, Derek has often talked about changing of the culture with this team. Can you feel it? Like, is there something tangible, maybe especially over the last few weeks, where you've noticed culture or attention or anything like that changing with this team?
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to find our groove. We've been up and down quite a bit, and just looking to be a little bit more consistent. These last few weeks have been better at that. So just looking to do that, and the locker room's always been great. Honestly, Shelton leads us really well, and keeps us loose and allows us to go out there and play our game, and take 2 consecutive series or take a series from the a first place team. So we know we can do it, and it's just a matter of staying consistent.
All good for Kevin? All right. Thanks, fellas.
I appreciate it, guys.